on the 2nd of March, and it seems as if we've been hit by some kind of other shock wave. That we can feel collectively the tremors of what's happened to our brother Moazzam Begg here and abroad. And those tremors are felt by every Muslim in every place. It was in fact in March 1904, another kind of date that we celebrate, that we look back into. And the brothers before me were speaking about those who are worthy and those who are unworthy. That how could it be that we would commend and we would praise the achievements of people like Uthmaan Lateef. It was in March 1904, exactly 110 years ago, in the same month, when Uthmaan Lateef, this champion of British civilization, a man who was commended in his time and should be commended today for taking a stand against injustice. Uthmaan Lateef in March 1904, in the month of March, set up the Congo Relief Association, an organization. When he traveled to Congo and he saw what was happening with King Leopold II, and the massacres and the mutilations and the amputations of limbs by the natives of the Congolese people, by the Belgian government of Congo. And when he comes back and is trying to petition the British government and the people of Britain about this is what's happening in your name. You're witnesses to all of this atrocity and you're doing nothing. And they were telling him to hush up, to be silent, to be quiet, because that is not your business, because we're making so much money. Millions and millions and millions in ivory and rubber in the forests of Congo. Ivory and rubber from the forests of Congo. And so he then petitions Mark Twain, the famous author of Huckleberry Finn, who then put pen to paper and wrote the soliloquy of King Leopold II, satirizing him and condemning him for being a traitor, an aggressor, a tyrant. And it was on account of that noble initiative that there was a reawakening in the minds and hearts of many British noble people who took a stand against what was happening in their names. What was happening in their names. We also remember that March the 2nd, 2002 was the day when America led its operation in Afghanistan, in Operation Anaconda. The snake, sly, cunning. And that was of course supported by this government here. On the same day, and the same kind of cunning and stealth and slime is now again incorporated in the silencing of activists, in the silencing of those who have that humanitarian concern and drive like our dear brother Moazzam Begg and so many others like him. It's the same thing. Words, words. I was thinking today about the poem of Imtiaz Darfur, The Right Word. What exactly is the right word? Because she says in her poem that on the first day the guy is a terrorist, and then the second day he is a freedom fighter, and then the third day he is a guerrilla fighter, the fourth day is something else. And so she says the words are wavering flags in the wind. Words are like wavering flags in the wind. These are words that alternate by day and by night. So if the rebels, the Muslims, those who are resisting against Bashar al-Assad, were one day commendable by the time that Moazzam Begg goes to Syria, but suddenly today they become terrorists. Then look at the inconsistency there. Just like the Operation Anaconda, like the snake, sly, cunning, stealth. We remember, therefore, when William Edmund Dean Morrell traveled to Congo and came back from Congo back to Britain. The feeling of resistance, the feeling of, again, empathizing with those who are different, the Africans, recognizing them as humans. Because the biggest injustice is the injustice of witnessing crime, witnessing murder. One of the things that Edmund Dean Morrell said when he came back, he said, it's bad enough when you bump and stumble into a murderer. He said, I have seen a secret organization of murderers. A secret organization of murderers, of people who kill and maim and torture, and everybody else is silent. And that is something that is condemned in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran gave us Surah Al-Buruj as a framework of recognizing injustice and genocide and mass murder. But also in that surah, in that chapter in the Quran, Allah speaks about those who were witnesses, those who saw what was happening, but they were silent. They had no feelings, they had no empathy, no love, no connection with those who were suffering. And that is something that we have to always strive and struggle against. And so in this climate of so much Islamophobic rhetoric, in this climate of prevention, in this climate of antagonism from so many corners of this establishment, our message is a very clear and simple one. Allah in the Quran commands us to be imperative. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kunu qawamin. Oh, you who believe, be steadfast, be upright, stand firm for justice, as witnesses to justice for Allah's sake. We're all witnesses, inshallah, in a positive sense. Our gathering here today is a witness in front of all the people who see us, a witness before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a witness for one another that we were here on this day, on March the 2nd, 2014. And let this day, inshallah, be a day amongst many days of our proclamations of resistance, in our proclamations of good work, in our assisting of other people. It isn't only about Muslims. Other people suffer, all people suffer. And the Islamic paradigm has always been about helping your fellow man. That is an Islamic injunction. Helping your fellow man, your brother in humanity, assisting and helping, and not allowing somebody else to suffer. It's quite remarkable, in fact, that even in the Western world, in all these great universities, you have so many studies on the psychology of genocide, on the psychology of being bystander, but it's all in the books. It's like when Edward Gibbon famously traveled to Magdalen College and he saw all of these very astute people, dons who are studying some great sciences in the university. And he was so impressed by their knowledge. They have so much learning, they know about art and culture and religion and the rivers and the oceans and everything. But as he left, what did he say? He says, the people I met had no human conscience, had no understanding of social justice, that everything that they knew was just simply in the books. This country and the Western world was the first who began to look deeply into the psychology of genocide, into the psychology of victimization, of what does it mean to be a bystander, into what it meant for those witnesses who were witnesses to the rape and the murder of Kitty Genovese and so many others like that. And how can it be today then that they're seeing the same thing, but everybody is silent? May Allah save us from ever being silent. May Allah make us of those who are strong and brave and have the spirit of courage and resistance. And may it be heavy and weighty in our scales on the day of judgment. May Allah make us of those who raise a generation of empathetic people, that our children can carry this call of love and mercy and peace and justice. And wallahi, that is all that it is. It is only about justice, about fair dealing, about everybody having a human right on earth. That is what it's about. May Allah make us of those great people and our children in the generation of those great people. And may Allah release our dear brother Moazzam Begg. Wallah, do one last thing. Remember that when the Prophet of Allah entered the new land of Medina, of Yathrib, Medina, the first thing on the authority of Abdullah ibn Salam that he says, أول شيء سمعت يقول, the first thing I heard the Prophet say when he arrived in Medina was أفشوا السلام وأقدموا الطعام, spread salam and feed people, وصلوا الأرحام, enjoy ties of kinship, وفك العاني, and free the prisoners. Free the prisoners is the command of Allah and the Prophet upon this ummah, to work to champion the cause of those who are detained unjustly. And may Allah release our brother Moazzam Begg and those arrested with him. And may Allah send His peace and blessings upon Allah's most beloved, our leader, Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Jazakumullahu khairan.